Okay, so continuing where we left off, we were on this one, correct? Yeah. Okay, so remember, I gave you the sentence formula yesterday for a lead-in. I had a lot of people throughout the day yesterday that came up with other good ones that you could possibly use for a lead-in. According was another great word that you can use. According to the source, okay? According to the website, and according to the information. There are a lot of good lead-ins that you can come up with other than in the text it states or I know this because. Am I okay with you using in the text it states? Yes. Am I okay with you using I know this because? No. Never in your life. Okay? No, no, no. All right? So if you look over on the board, you will see that I have the sentence frame. Okay? The blank and then a verb. It's the exact same as yesterday. The evidence says, the writer conveys, the author states, however you want to word it. Okay? So we are on the porcupine question. Can anybody remind me what the claim was for those that were not here on Monday? Can anybody tell me what the claim was for the porcupine question? Ashley. Very good. A group of porcupines is called a prickle. That was our claim for the porcupine question for CER number 3. A group of porcupines is called a prickle. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to give me a lead-in and your evidence. I have included the evidence on the screen right there. Go ahead and write down on your evidence box, on your notes, a lead-in and the evidence. Okay, so this one was, did you need to include most of or all of this quotation in order to answer the question? Yeah. You probably needed quite a bit of it, right? Some of you did use ellipses, which is totally fine. But what are the words in here that you must have? Anthony? Prickle. You must have prickle, obviously. What else must you have, Anessa? Porcupines, right? What else is probably a pretty important word to have, Sawyer? A group, yeah. Those 3 words are really necessary to actually answer the question fully. If you were to just say ... prickle ... does that give any context to it being the answer? No, there's not enough there, okay? So you really need to be careful that you're not eliminating too much because some of that stuff is necessary. So for this, you would say something along the lines of, I saw somebody that said, according to the website, comma, quotation marks, the collective name for a group of these large rodents is a prickle of porcupines, quotation marks. Some of you forgot quotation marks, but that's okay because I reminded you and you still remembered. So remember, for this next one, when we get to number 4, don't forget your quotation marks, okay? Because I'm not going to be as lenient next time with the tickets, okay? So I'm going to give you a picture of the source of which I got this from. I want you to figure out what you're going to use for your citation, okay? Based off of what we talked about yesterday, you need to figure out what you're going to use for your citation. You're welcome to come up to the board if you need to. Okay, go ahead and do your citation. Okay, so for this one has very little information, okay? Very little information, yes. Okay. Connor, take one of those away. Put one to the side. I've only given out 2 today, so it must have been stuck together. All right, so this has very little information. This is a lot of what you are going to see on when you are doing your research project. You're going to have a lot of websites that look like this. So a lot of you remembered from yesterday, especially with the first King of Scotland question, there's no author here. I didn't include the article. I didn't include anything. All I included was the name of the website, which is what you should have done. So it's Cariega, Game Reserve. You could have put just Cariega. That was totally fine. Game Reserve, whatever. It's not Eastern Cape, South Africa. It's none of that. That's just the location. But you guys did very, very, very well with that. Okay, let's move on to question number 4. Question number 4, CER number 4, excuse me. There we go. So this one was the difficult one to restate, okay? So the question was, What in human blood reacts to luminol to make it glow under black light? And there was 3 different ways that we could have written our claim here. One of them was leaving the first part blank. So something like blank reacts to luminol to make it glow under black light. That was an option. You could have put it in the middle and said something like it is blank that reacts to luminol to make it glow under black light. Or you could have put the answer at the end with something like the thing in human blood that reacts to luminol to make it glow under black light is. Okay, so there was 3 options there as far as your claim goes. Can anyone tell me what the answer is? Anthony? It should be iron. Very good, iron. So blood is called hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is made up of different materials, different substances, and the thing that reacts to luminol is iron in your blood. So that should have been your claim. I'm just going to go with the first option, which was iron in human blood reacts to luminol to make it glow under black light. That is your claim for this question. Iron in human blood reacts to luminol to make it glow under black light. So, for the evidence portion of this one, I'm going to challenge you to use a different lead-in than you used last time. So if you used, in the text it states, last time, don't use it again. Use something different. Okay? Figure out a different word for states. Figure out a different verb that you can put there. And when I'm coming around and looking at your answers, I'm going to be very picky. So if you don't get a ticket on the first time, I'm going to tell you to look again because I'm going to be very picky on this one. Okay? Because this is number 4 at this time. I'm going to be very picky with my tickets today. Okay? So come up with a different lead-in. And here is the quote. Remember, you can use ellipses to eliminate parts of the quote that you don't need, but you want to be careful that you don't eliminate too much of the quote where you lose some of the answer. Go ahead and write this down in your evidence row. Okay, listen up. All right, so you should have had, and there was one thing that I was also looking for other than quotation marks. You should have had a different lead-in that you did for the other one. So according to the text, the evidence states whatever, okay? Then you should have probably had most of this quotation. I think you could probably use ellipses after the word glow, okay? You could probably use it after the word glow, or get rid of it after the word glow. So the iron from the hemoglobin in the blood serves as a catalyst for the chemiluminescence reaction that causes luminol to go da-da-da-da-da. Okay, you could probably do that. All right? What was the other thing that I was looking for it not to have at the end? Anthony, do you know? No? Okay. Ryan? A period. You should not have a period at the end of the quote, especially if you have ellipses, because you should just have 3 dots. But if you have a period at the end and then you do your citation, it throws it off because a citation isn't a sentence. A citation is a citation. It's part of the sentence. Okay? So, I'm going to give you, just like I always do, I'm going to give you a screenshot of where I got it from. I'm going to be picky again. I am going to be picky about punctuation and capitalization. Okay. Here it is. Do your citation, and then when you're done, hey, I need your voices up in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. All right, so for this screenshot has a lot of information on it. Now, this one has, in comparison to the other ones, a lot of information on it, okay? This one has the website title, which is what? What is the website title on this? ThoughtCo. Very good. This has the article title, Luminol Chemiluminescence Test for Blood. But it has the one thing that we always look for, which is the author's last name. For this one, it is Helmenstein. And I was glad that none of you put PhD. Although having a PhD is very important and having those letters after her name is very important, it's not important for the citation. We would just put the author's last name. There's one other thing that you didn't put, which was you didn't try to put a page number. Websites don't have page numbers, okay? Websites don't have page numbers. Yes, Elijah? That's a good question. For this one, we can assume, this is the assumption that I think most of us made as well as myself. We can assume that Marie is most likely a middle name because that's not a typical last name. But that is a very good question. I don't think that you would ever get in a situation where it's like you get knocked off or you get counted for plagiarism or things like that if you accidentally don't include one of their last names. I think you'll probably be okay. Just use your best judgment. Okay? I think that one, that's about it. Okay, so I think we're at a point where we have mastered evidence and citations. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to look at reasoning for all of these 4, I think we've gotten through 4, that we have. Okay, reasoning is our last step in mastering the CER process for a constructed response. Okay, so that's going to be it for